Hello everyone, welcome to this session on Introduction to User Feedback Integration. Let's kick off by talking about why user feedback is so crucial, especially for decentralized application or DApps. Imagine you are building a DApp without really knowing what your users want or need. It's like flying blind. User feedback acts as a compass guiding us towards making better decisions. By listening to what users are saying, we can identify what works, what doesn't, and what features needs improvement. This feedback loop is essential to redefining our DApp, making sure it meets the expectations of the user. Moving on, we have why feedback matters. User feedback is the key to making our DApp not just functional but delightful to use. For instance, when users tell us about their preferences, we can tailor the DApp to make it more intuitive and enjoyable. It's also like having extra set of eyes on the lookout for bugs or issues that we might have missed during development. These insights help us avoid frustrating our users with glitches or poor usability. And beyond that, feedback helps us see where to take the DApp next, what features should we prioritize, what new trends should we tap into. Finally, engaging our users by responding to their feedback builds trust, they feel heard, which makes them more likely to stick around and even recommend the DApp to others. Moving on, we have methods of collecting user feedback. Now, how do we gather this feedback? There are few different methods. Surveys and questionnaires are great for getting structured responses from a large group. Think of it as casting a wide net. In app feedback form, on the other hand, let users share their thoughts directly while they're using the app. It's quick and convenient. Then there's social media and community channels. Platforms like Twitter, Discord, and Reddit are full of user discussions where we can listen in and engage. Lastly, analytic tools track user behavior, things like how they navigate the app or which features they use the most. This helps us understand their journey and identify areas for improvement. Moving on, we have surveys and questionnaires. Surveys give us structured feedback, and the beauty of this method is that we can target specific areas like user demographic or pain points. There are tons of tools out there like Google Forms and SurveyMonkey, which makes it easy to design and distribute surveys. Once we collect this data, we can analyze it to find patterns and make data-driven decisions. For example, if multiple users mention the same issue, we know it's something worth addressing. Moving on, we have creating a survey with Google Form. Let's talk about creating a Google Form survey. First, you'll set up a new form with a title that clearly reflects what you are asking about. Next, design your questions, make them relevant and straightforward. Once you have collected enough responses, Google Sheets makes it easy to analyze the data, given what you imagine, what your insights into what users think. It's a simple yet powerful tool for gathering feedback. Moving on, implementing an in-app feedback form. In-app feedback forms are a great way to capture user thoughts right when they are interacting with the DApp because users are already in the app. It's super convenient for them to leave feedback, and because it's contextual, you can get insights that are directly related to specific features or interactions. Plus, with real-time data, you can quickly address any issues that arise, improving the overall experience. Moving on, we have implementing an in-app feedback form. Code. Creating a feedback component. Start by building a React component called feedbackform.js to handle the feedback form logic and user input. Define state and handle submit. Use the useState hook to manage the feedback text. Implement a handle submit function to set the feedback data to your backend. Implementing form structure and styling. Design an accessible and user-friendly form with text area, submit button, and necessary labels and styling. Moving on, we have social media and community channels. Social media and community channels are powerful tools for gathering feedback. Platforms like Twitter, Discord, and Telegram allow us to directly engage with users. We can respond to their comments, ask questions, and even set up dedicated channels for the feedback. This way, we are not just collecting feedback but also building relationships with our community. Engaging with users in this way fosters trust and loyalty. Moving on, we have using Discord for user feedback. Setting up a Discord server for your DApp can be incredibly effective. Start by creating a server with your branding and channels for different types of feedback, like feature requests or being bug reports. Be active in these discussions, responding to user input and showing that you value their contributions. By setting up clear guidelines and moderating content, you maintain a positive environment, and which in turn encourages constructive feedback. Analytics and user behavior tracking. Tracking user behavior is all about understanding how users interact with your DApp. Analytics tool can reveal which features are popular, how users navigate through your app, and where they might be dropping off. This data gives us the roadmap for optimizing the user experience, helping us make informed decisions based on real user activity rather than guesswork. Setting up Google Analytics for your DApp. To set up Google Analytics for your DApp, start by creating a free account. Once you are in Google, it will give you a unique tracking ID. You'll need to integrate this ID into your dApp by adding the tracking code to your HTML file. This will enable Google to start collecting data on user behavior, giving you valuable insights on how users are engaging with your dApp. Moving on, we have analyzing user feedback and insights. After collecting feedback, the next step is analysis. Looking for patterns in the data. What are users consistently saying? By identifying these themes, you can prioritize which issues to address first. Once you have made important improvements based on the feedback, monitor the impact. Are users responding positively? Keep this cycle going, constantly refining the dApp to meet your user expectations. Moving on, we have integrating feedback into development. To effectively integrate feedback, start by prioritizing the most frequent and impactful issues. Establish a feedback loop, collect feedback, implement changes, and then gather more feedback to see how well those changes were received. Continuously, monitor user engagement and iterate on the dApp to ensure it stays aligned with your user needs. And don't forget to communicate transparently with your users about the changes you are making. It builds trust and keeps them engaged. Moving on, we have automating feedback collection and analysis. Automation can streamline the feedback process. Tools like Zapier and IFTT let you automate the collection and analysis of feedback, reducing manual work. For example, you can set up a Zap that automatically sends survey responses to a spreadsheet for easily tracking and analysis. Automation saves time and ensures that no valuable feedback slips through the cracks. Moving on, we have best practices for user feedback integrations. To maximize the value of user feedback, make it a regular part of your process. Continuously collect feedback from various channels to keep your finger on the pulse of user needs. Be transparent with your users, let them know how their feedback is being used and what improvements you are making. And adopt a mindset of continuous improvements. Use feedback to iteratively refine your dApp, ensuring it's always meeting user experience. Now let's take a look at some real-world examples. A popular DeFi dApp which used community feedback to simplify its interface, making it easier for users to navigate. An NFT marketplace improved its search functionality based on user suggestions, enhancing the experience for both buyers and sellers. And in the gaming metaverse space, developers use player feedback to enhance the virtual world and improve gameplay mechanics. These examples show how feedback can directly lead to better, more friendly user products. Handling negative feedback constructively. Negative feedback can be tough to hear, but it's incredibly valuable. When users point out problems, take it as an opportunity to improve. Respond to feedback by first understanding the issue, empathizing with the user, and then taking action, whether that's fixing a bug or clarifying how a feature works. By turning negative feedback into positive changes, you can improve user satisfaction and build a stronger community. Moving on, we have fostering a user-centric dApp development. To create a truly user-centric dApp, start by empathizing with your users. Understand their needs, pain points, and expectations. Use this understanding to guide your development process. Embrace an iterative approach, continuously gather feedback, make improvements, and refine the dApp. And finally, cultivate a strong community of users who feel heard and valued. When users feel like they are a part of the process, they are more likely to stay engaged and contribute to the dApp's success. Moving on, we have the future of dApp user experience. Looking ahead, the future of dApp user experience will be shaped by the predictive analytics and personalization. As we collect more data, we will be able to anticipate user needs and provide tailored experience. dApps will also become more interconnected with seamless integrations across different platforms, making the user experience more cohesive and convenient. By staying ahead of these trends, we can create dApp that not only meets but exceeds user expectations. Thank you and have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this session.